Yeet. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. Ha. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Happy to see you guys in here. It's the trade room, y'all. We got charts today. We go macro. We thinking big picture. Let's go now. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. This is about to be fun. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. It's a macro Saturday. We got things to talk about. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Listen, like, subscribe, put your alerts on. I'm happy to see y'all here today. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey, welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. We're gonna get started soon, guys. Love you guys for showing up. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share with a friend. It's time to get litty. See you soon.
What's up, fam? Welcome to the trade room. It's a macro Saturday, doing a sound check like we always do, guys, in the chat. Let me know if the sound is coming through. We've been streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and X, and I've noticed that in the beginning of my streams with my intro, it tends to be a little bit of some clickety clappity lag there. So as always, let me know if my sound is good. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the chat, especially those who are here early. Shout out to Dags, shout out to Mellow Fellow, shout out to the Jewelers, and shout out to Eric. What is happening? You guys know what to do here on this channel. We get into the macro talk and the macro effects. Sticks, thanks for the confirmation on my sound here. So, guys, a little bit different from last week. Last week, prices were rising, everything was euphoric. So, what's on our agenda today? Well, today, we're going to talk about a few things, okay? We're going to talk about the market conditions as usual between Jewel, BTC, AVAX, Crystal, Bloater. We're going to look at the Bloater chart for the first time on stream, and we're going to talk about what that has to do with economic hardening theory. We're going to talk about the Moksha Runs. We're going to talk about yellow pet egg. All right. Now, from the charts, we're going to head over to the jewelers, okay? And the jewelers come on Saturdays right after myself at I go on at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. They come on at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And this Saturday, we're gonna have a special guest. Okay, we're gonna have Wiz Jazz Hands. All right, we're gonna have Winston on the Jewelers Podcast, which comes on right after me at 9:30. Winston deals with the quality assurance portion, and quite honestly, to me, that's one of the more important things. So, guys, if you're not following the Jewelers, go follow them now. Okay, if you're not following Mega or Dags, go follow them now. Pretty cool things, pretty great updates coming with the Jewelers Guild, and we're kicking it off tonight with a hangout spot, a chill out spot with Winston to see what is popping with him. Then we're going to talk about my chat with the FBI agent, right? I went to a tech conference recently, had a few chats, and one was with an FBI agent, right? We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about my sales, right? In the previous stream, we talked about practice, practice, practice. I'm not selling because I don't have diamond hands, but those sales were practice for the top of the bull market. What does it feel like when everybody's telling you buy, don't sell, and you're selling? What does that feel like? We'll talk about my sales, and what that has to do with the macro picture. We're going to talk about economic hardening theory, the update on economic hardening theory, right? If you have not seen my 49-minute video that I put out about economic hardening theory, go and watch it. It's on my YouTube. It breaks down those first stages of the economic hardening theory, and we're moving on, right? First stage we addressed during that video. We were talking about what the second stage looks like, and now we're going to address the third stage, which the third stage is trickle down effects, right? Proper trickle down effects. And that's what we're going to talk about with stage 3 of the economic hardening theory. We're going to look at some of the trade rooms picks, right? There's so many assets in the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem. Trade room has a few things that we're looking at, right? So what's the room looking at? What are our picks? And then we'll leave some room for some chart requests from the chat. I know Skiller had a request last week about KDA. I looked at the chart and it looked phenomenal. And I think since that time, it's had like 100% run, right? Charts don't lie. Doesn't matter if it's a DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. Doesn't matter if it's any other ecosystem. The chart says what the chart says, right? I may not hold these tokens, but I can look at a chart and clearly tell that KDA was looking absolutely fantastic, right? And so before we jump into the charts, before we jump into market conditions, let's take a holla at the chat room. Shout out to Skiller. I was just talking about him. We have Two Honest in the building. What up, Two Honest? We have who else? Yeah, everybody in here. We are chilling. You know, it's the holiday season. It's getting towards that Christmas time, but we think we're gonna stop streaming. Oh no, we are not. So, yeah, guys, like I said, make sure to tap into the jewelers if you have not. Okay. Let's head over. Yes, guys, remember, the jewelers come on right after me, so make sure to tap in and to tune in. So before we hop into the charts, hey, I went to a tech conference. Okay, I'm in the IT field. I went to a tech conference. There you see my happy go jolly self with my entry pass there. It's a NERIC conference, and NERIC is a technology organization providing a bunch of different services. And within this conference, they had an FBI agent, the Albany FBI agent, come and talk about, some of the things that are happening in technology, some of the things you have to be aware of when it comes to cybersecurity. And I didn't mention crypto. He mentioned crypto, and he was talking his stuff about crypto and all that stuff. And I had a chance to ask a question. And so I just simply said, do you find blockchain technology useful? You came in and you were saying all this stuff, but do you find blockchain technology useful? It's kind of important to hear what the FBI has to say about blockchain, right? Elizabeth Warren has what she has to say about crypto and blockchain, but she has an agenda, right? What are the people who work in government, who work in the three-letter alphabets? What are their thoughts, right? This is one guy. Doesn't mean the entire FBI thinks this, but what does the computer scientist from the FBI have to say about crypto? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's pretty close to what he said. He said, certainly, when it comes to ownership, transfer of value, tokenization, and much more, certainly it just needs regulation. And he actually said some things like, "Oh, New York, it's kind of scary when New York is the only state that has regulations." I don't like the New York regulations. They're pretty stringent, and New Yorkers have a very hard time buying crypto right now. But I think what he meant by that is New York is really adamant about setting up these rules, and New York will go complete no. New York will go complete no until they're ready or until they sued enough people, right? And so, very, very, very bullish to hear that. And it speaks to, you can see all these things happening outside and in government and in politics, especially with an election season coming up. But when you see these people who are working day to day giving their opinions about what's going on, and they see a use case, that's important, right? That is important to notate. So I can say that I can say that we were chilling with the FBI. We chatted with the FBI. And and look, Dash says Elizabeth owned by central banks. Warren. Yes, that is her middle, leading to her last name. Oh snap. Okay, I we got a special guest in here. This is actually my wife. First time she's popped in. Don't be fooled by her, whatever this emoji is or this PFP is. She's just hilarious. We have Eric saying FBI guy is a cool cat. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think his name was Roderick. He had his hair slicked back. He had a lot of jokes he thought was funny, but they were okay. We had Stick saying NY regs are shitty. Yeah, I agree with your saying here 100%. Quite honestly, I've considered moving out of New York, and for some time, my wife, and I were literally on the verge of moving out, but we didn't do it. Okay, we did not do it. And the forces that be, kept us here. So it was cool tapping into the chat. We had the jeweler saying Miss Trade in the house. Yeah, she popped in. She popped in. Okay. She is showing some support. And technically, Miss Trade is actually part of the Jewelers Guild, right? She's an honorary inductee into the Jewelers Guild. And so let's dive into the charts here. Um, you know, I'm gonna hide myself here because we just need to see a few things clearly. All right, and I'm gonna put myself away. I was on ADFK's podcast, and it was the first time I got a chance to use my PFP. And I was pretty ecstatic about that. Right, I didn't have to show my face. I could just hang out and scratch my nuts if I wanted to. Nobody would notice, right? So let's get into the charts. We are currently looking at Bitcoin. Why are we looking at Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the leading indicator. Okay. Bitcoin is the leading indicator. It tells us what is going to happen with the rest of the market. You have to track Bitcoin to have an understanding of what is happening in the rest of the market. I recently tweeted that Jewel is the BTC of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. And if you have been on the trade room for any part of the last 4 to 6 months, you understand why we say BTC is the why Jewel is the BTC of the ecosystem, because you have Bitcoin run. Bitcoin is always early. And then after Bitcoin, you see the altcoins move as well. And so we have to see money flow into Bitcoin. And that is the economic hardening of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And that is the trickle down effect of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So if Jewel is like Bitcoin, what does that mean for the rest of the ecosystem? And that is what we are talking about tonight. We're not going to spend a lot of time on Bitcoin. You guys know about this channel that we've had here, that we've been ranging through. You guys know that from these our stream that we had in August. We labeled this square region, this blue shaded square region. We projected a 147-day 57% run from Bitcoin to the top of this channel at $46,478. You guys know that we deviated from this channel and we had this support here at 25.9 that we expected to act as support, as it did. And so far with this projection, we're not only back in this channel, but we've had very aggressive bullish action from this area. And we went as high as 51% of that 57% projection. We are currently in a corrective phase at 43% of that 57% projection. And I had a thought there that I wanted to finish off with. We only have of that projection about another 10% to go within that projection. Let's zoom in and let's see what's going on within these areas. What is the trade room's overall thought process about what is going on in Bitcoin? Well, we had a bearish divergence that we were tracking here. We can see it on a 4-hour chart where our side was down and price was going up. You guys know all about the bullish divergence because we talked about that forever, while Jewel was at 7.9 cents. And we saw the 3-day bullish divergence. But opposites are something that exists. So there is bearish divergence. So even though we have this 57% projection that's that's solely on point, right, within the smaller time frames, the 4-hour chart, we saw this bearish divergence. Now, this bearish divergence has played out. Bitcoin has corrected what percent? Bitcoin has corrected from the top of this movement. It has been a 8-day correction. We went as low as $40,000 on a 10% correction. We've been having a higher low since. Currently, we are 5.6% down over an 8-day period. What do these colors mean? Very simply, this is the range that we expected Bitcoin to hang out in. I remember Stick's intern asking about the Bollinger Bands, especially the daily one, and Stick saying that, hey, are we going to go to the lower Bollinger? I was of the opinion that we were not going to be going to the lower Bollinger. The lower Bollinger is around 36, 37,000. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he went there. I don't expect us to go there. It was even lower when Sticks mentioned it. I believe the Bollinger Band was somewhere around $34,000, $35,000. I expect Bitcoin to hang around in this zone. If you guys remember, this is the F around and find out zone. We don't want to be buying at the F around and find out zone. We just want to be tracking. you should have been buying down in these zones at the $25,000 range where we were expecting a strong support. And so within this F around and find out zone, we are simply looking like we're having consolidation. This F around and find out zone goes from 37,000 to 46,000. I expect us to hang around here, but now since a correction has happened, we have made that zone even tighter where we are tracking. Oops, I did not mean to erase that. Where we are tracking this green zone that we have here between 39,000 and 42,000 as the zone in which this is going to range. We have exited that zone. Looks like we're correcting back into it. I would love to see a bounce at 41.6. Worst case scenario, I would like to see a bounce at 40. I do think that DXY is going to have a nice little impulse after correcting down. But I expect Bitcoin to find some sort of bounce here. And I'm expecting very, very powerful movements. When we look at DXY, because we haven't really tracked DXY, and I'll hover over that quickly. DXY looks bearish. It got a rejection at this 107 area. We've made our way down. And it's just finding some support here, right? When you have Fibonacci retracements, sometimes it's just a dead cat bounce, right? And so DXY, after correcting down, has found a bounce at the 618 at 101. At this area for DXY, we could go as high as 103.7. And all you need to know if you don't know anything about DXY is that it tends to be the inverse of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So if DXY is going up, crypto is going down. If DXY is going down, crypto and equities are going up. And we currently are in quite the bearish trajectory for DXY. I would get really worried about DXY at this 99 area as a possible really big correction for equities and crypto. But right now, I don't really see it. So we could have a week, maybe a week and a half, at the longest 2 weeks of some sort of correction from Bitcoin. But from there, I'm really bullish on the market. That's just plain and simple what the charts say. It's not me. It's not my emotions. It's not my bias. So we always go from Bitcoin over to AVAX. Why do we go from Bitcoin to AVAX? We go from Bitcoin to AVAX because Bitcoin is the Bitcoin of the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, and it determines how the ecosystem is moving in general. It determines the health. And when Bitcoin corrects, you get other things, especially within a bull market, that have parabolic movements. Just to wrap Bitcoin up, because we are a macro channel, just to wrap Bitcoin up, we do expect Bitcoin to make its way not only to this 57% run to confirm that, but we expect to range in this F around and find out zone, and we expect to test this all-time high area. Okay, super worst case scenario, you'll come back to test 25,000. Another worst case scenario, you'll come back to test 32,000. Do I think that that's what's going to happen? Not at all. I expect a 39 or a $41,000 area to be a strong bounce area. Now, the test of this all-time high area at 65,000 is going to be such a critical, such an emotional area. People won't even know what to do with themselves. But all in all, I think the best case for scenario for Bitcoin is $216,000. I'm not too optimistic that we get there. I would need to see more from Bitcoin. But I do think we get to the all-time highs. And I do think that even with this big projection, I do think that $92,000 is very possible. $92,000 is very possible for Bitcoin. So what does that mean in general for the cryptocurrency ecosystem? That means Bitcoin's market cap could be touching 1.5, 1.6, even $2 trillion on its own throughout a bull market. And I think that at this point, people were questioning, are we not in a bull market? At this point, we're pretty much in a bull market. Okay. So if we are in a bull market, okay, what are we looking at in terms of AVAX? What are we looking at in terms of Jewel, the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem? What are we looking at in terms of GameFi, and what's going on with that? We are looking at DeFi Kingdoms blockchain gaming being an absolute leader in this run that we have going on. And before we jump back into the charts, again, if you have not seen the Economic Hardening Theory, you can go find it on my YouTube. At this point, if you are here, thank you for being here. Make sure to put a thumbs up. Okay, make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and make sure to share this on your Twitter or your X, on your other social medias, because we try to bring some sensibility into the ecosystem. But after we've analyzed Bitcoin, before we get into AVAX, before we get into Jewel on the charts, what does this mean? Macro style. This macro style meaning Bitcoin is bullish. We have a correction. Once we slug our way out this correction, we have some massive price action. We're testing all-time highs. That's healthy. When Bitcoin corrects, this is the trickle-down effect for Bitcoin. You get altcoins getting a lot of volume and having parabolic prices. And so in August, when we drew that 57% possible run for Bitcoin to that $46,000 range, what did we say in the trade room? We said, why blockchain gaming will dominate crypto headlines. A lot of data behind it, but it was overall the economic hardening theory. Okay, what is the economic hardening theory? We're going to get into that a little bit today, but if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube and you have, you can put it on 2x speed. It's a whole 49 minutes. Okay, it's a lot that we cover, but that is what we're looking at, right? That is what the macro picture of what we're seeing with Bitcoin happening. That is a bigger confirmation of what blockchain gaming is doing. And guys, I have my wrinkled up XRP shirt. XRP has a lot. XRP clarity and these litigation cases have a lot to do with why I am so bullish on DeFi Kingdoms, on GameFi, and on DeFi, and on and an overall cryptocurrency space. We will be talking about XRP more as time goes on, because you have to understand, again, macro, what is going on. And so let's get back to the charts and wrap up. What are we wrapping up? We're wrapping understanding Bitcoin in a macro picture, what we're expecting from Bitcoin, which is a correction, a continued correction, which is going to bring some sales into the ecosystem. So what are we looking at next? AVAX, right? AVAX is the Bitcoin of layer one. I think Solana is running right now, but let's say AVAX is the Bitcoin of Jewel, right? Jewel is the Bitcoin of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. And so we've been tracking AVAX for a while now. You know, we've been tracking this, you know, 700 day. We've been tracking this 700 day 93% correction. We won't get into the psychology of what this is and what that felt like, but overall, we were following an ascending triangle. Okay, this is a large ascending triangle, and in the trade room, we watch macro patterns. Okay, this chart has existed since September of 2020, and we track macro patterns. Okay, we have a weekly stream, but we're not traders. We're macro people. All right. So we do the short-term stuff just for practice. We track macro patterns because macro patterns are very possible. And even though we've had this downward trend, AVAX was looking super bullish. We said the first area to be slightly impressed was 1350. We went through that. We back tested it. We said the next area that confirms a bull market for AVAX is $21. The next month, so we went October, right? Little bullish candle. November, very bullish candle, right? November was a good month. November is what helped us confirm this ascending triangle was a breakout where we had a 100% run on AVAX. And then we had the following month, right? Which is the current month that we are in, December. We've gone up as high as 137% just in December. And we've corrected now back down to 124%. We said that with AVAX at $40, we expected a lot of resistance and a correction. We've had some corrections since then, but my golly, AVAX continues to run, right? So I think this $40 area is a very highly contested area. Before we dig in more granularly, since the bottom, AVAX has gone as high as 429%. Okay, since the bottom, and we have an overall 2,600 and 2,068% projected run for AVAX. We are almost 500% within that projection. And that's the projection we made at this current price here, where we started to see this first green candle. Because I don't want to look too much in the future if the chart isn't telling me really what it needs to do. And you guys did not see my forward projections in those early stages because you guys weren't ready for it. All right. But we've had this 2,000% projected here. If I drag this even lower, right? If I drag this lower from the lows, not from when we gave this projection, it's a 22,526% run. Currently, we are from the lows, unbelievably, about 400% into there. Okay. At the high, 500 plus percent. And so a big battle here. If we dig in a little bit more granularly on AVAX, we're watching the 4 hour here. This is the $40 area where we expected a correction. I think that AVAX is burnt out right now, and we need a correction, right? We could only correct back to $40 because we've gone as high as $45. But I think AVAX is just, it's overburnt, it's overbought, it needs a correction. And so with AVAX, the easy life is a 4.4% correction. That won't really make me bullish. I'm more of in the camp of with AVAX, we can get a 19-20% correction from AVAX. That would give me a double bottom, right? A bottom here, even a triple bottom. One, two, a triple bottom at $34 would give us a great escape velocity. It would allow the RSI to kind of cool down here. It would allow the daily chart to do some sort of resetting. But if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, AVAX is going to go up forever. Yes, the next upside for AVAX is $49, and it may even do it this weekend. The next upside from AVAX is $59. I mean, it's moved incredible. It could possibly do it this weekend. But one, I'm not buying at these prices. And two, the RSI, which is a relative strength index, is at a 90-89 RSI. It's overbought. Okay. I would love to see AVAX cool off and let the RSI come down here at least to 64. Even at 53, that for me would allow the daily to now I'm more confident about 100% daily run from AVAX. Right now, I'm not confident even about a 5%, 10% run from AVAX because the RSI is too overbought. When you look at the weekly, okay, when you look at the weekly, again, the RSI is, let me just remove this from here. The RSI is too high. I mean, look at this RSI in a weekly. It's at an 86. I don't like it. It's never been above the 86 other than when it first came out during the bull market, right? So I'm expecting a correction. I would love a correction, even down to $34, $35. That has a lot of confluence with this area. I expected a correction at $40 because of this little congestion here. And I'm sorry, I need a correction. I mean, look at the mid Bollinger. The mid Bollinger still sits at $15, right? AVAX, you've done too much, Now, if AVAX comes down to $21, that's the bull market confirmation. So if AVAX ever got to $21, I would have to find a way to get some money. And I don't have a house to sell. But during this bull market, if AVAX dared ever allow me to get a chance at it at $21, I'd probably sell a toe to go buy some AVAX. And so that's what we're looking at AVAX. The 25,000% projection is at $223. Even from where we are right now, to that full retracement is a 414% run to the all-time high. All right, the all-time high was $142. That is a 230% run. But even from the correction, right, where we expect the correction to happen, which I think $33, $34 is a great place to find some healthy support. To the full retracement, 545%, and then to the all-time high, 318%. So that's what we're looking at with AVAX. A lot of sluggishness here. I don't expect AVAX to go any higher than where it is right now. We got to see a correction. I'd love to see a correction. So before we move on to Jewel, guys, we're going to holla at the chat room. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. So we'll pick up not too far behind. But let's see what's going on. Shout out to Beeve. Who else is in here? We got Mike in here, aka the associate. Okay, we got the associate in here. We got Mythic Squad in here as well. And we got Anthony in here as well. Shout out to you guys. We got Bob Nothing saying can't sell much AVAX bags. Gas too high. Yeah, I mean, all I'd be doing with AVAX right now is just sending it places. And even then, I don't want to sell it right now. Why? Because in whatever blockchain you're in, when there's a lot of traffic happening, there's a lot of congestion that happens, and also too, gas prices become more expensive, right? So even in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, people are having to adjust their gas, right? And so why are you selling right now? That'd be my question. Bob says bullish. We have the beef saying 2 eggs and just hit 9-star mythic crystal hat. Oh, whoa. People are doing things in the ecosystem tonight. That's wonderful. We have Dax saying, I just sent you a wonderful clip in your Discord DMs. Whoa, in my DMs? Is this a clip that I can show? Or is this some economic hardening clips here? We have Eric saying gas is too weird right now. Don't want to quest. Well, listen, shout out to Affinity Lotus. He's been chatting with the Jewelers Guild a lot on just different ways to adjust your gas to just make sure you're making the best use of it. And sometimes you got to put a pause on when you execute quests, right? And this is the beauty of being able to come into the ecosystem and customize, what you want to customize, whether it is DFK Helper. Okay, shout out to DFK Helper. Whether you are technologically inclined enough to run your own, some people need some help. All right, I have a video about how to use DFK Helper if you are an individual that don't want to mess around with coding on your laptop or whatever it is device you have. You can use DFK Helper. We also have Affinity Lotus that has a tutorial on how to set up your bots if you want to use bots, right? That's everybody has their own decision. We've been given technology. We're gonna use it, right? And it's up to you on what you want to do. You can pay for the service or you can figure it out on your own. But if you want to check out Affinity, go check out Affinity Lotus on YouTube and Twitter. If you want to check out my video on DFK Helper, head right over to the Trade Room's YouTube. And it's there. All right, go watch it. All right. And this is and this is where I'll end it at. With Dax saying, "Oh my gosh, AVAX is gonna go up forever." Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to snap. I'm gonna have to use that on X at some point. And so, guys, that's AVAX. We're gonna head into Jewel. Okay, now we're gonna head into Jewel. And before we head into Jewel, I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't just, let's just hop in a game for a little bit, right? Let's just get some nostalgia going here, because I know you guys are gamers, and I'm over here showing you charts the entire time, but I want to give you guys a little bit of the juice, right? Uh, I'm a peddler. This is one of my botted accounts here. And if we take a look at it, I got a Moksha Run, right? I got a Moksha Run. I got a few eggs here, and guys, like, let me lower this here. One of the things that you guys have to understand is, and here I'm gonna give some alpha. Okay, you guys ready for some alpha? Some of you may know this, some of you may not. We're gonna drop some alpha. Okay, we're gonna drop some alpha. Again, you can find a lot of these clips on Affinity Lotus. Affinity Lotus is YouTube. When you get in the game, okay, cool. Yeah, you click and you do this and you quest and you see how it happens. You get the endorphin boost. Okay, you get the endorphin boost. This is also part of the economic hardening theory, right? You get a little endorphin boost. But at some point, as you're grabbing heroes, as you're summoning, you start getting to that 80, 90 hero spot, and you don't have time to go ahead and start clicking them. Boom, 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 right? You just want to have stuff going because the questing is now redundant. You want to go and play. You want to go and like try to summon, try to burn heroes, right? You want to do DFK duels, which can also be botted, right? So the alpha is having a botting system that is botting your items. Now, look. We're not here to bot and to sell. We're not here to buy and to sell. And even if you buy and you sell, you're just buying more things within the ecosystem, right? You're diversifying what you're holding. We don't bot to sell. Okay. Just come on. We're come on. We don't bot to sell. All right. We bot to do other things in the game, because after 2+ years, there's so much going on in the ecosystem. There's so many things you can do that some things that you used to love to do need to be automated. So I can go in there and fight a boar hunt, 2 to 4 boar hunts a day, right? I can go in there. I could bot duel. I can manual duel, right? I can go in there and summon my best heroes. When you have a botted account, man, depending on how many heroes you have, you're getting a ton of items. And also, too, you are, and I'm going to just lower the music here. All right. You not only are you getting a ton of items, but hey, the more heroes you have, the more Moksha runes you have, the better you're able to level up your heroes. And so, look, over the last 6 or 8 months, I've swept the floors of basics, because those basics need to level up. They don't need Moksha runes. Those basics will take quite the time, even while they're botted, to get to level 10. And so every Moksha rune that those basics garner, I can use to level my heroes. I can sell to buy more heroes. I can sell to buy the Bloater. Okay. So that is the alpha that we are dropping here. Let's see the thoughts of the chat on some of these things. We have Sticks saying inscriptions are bullish for my bags because inscriptions are good, bad. Lay down to me by what you mean by inscriptions. I may be going blank right now, but yeah, choose your adventure, right? The part of the economic hardening theory is this is not a game where you come in and every player has to do X, X, S, X, and X to get to X, 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 and X, and no. This is a vast ecosystem with vast strategies, and you come in, and once you get a glam of the ecosystem, your brain starts turning like you are Pinky and the Brain, and you are here to take over the world. And 15,000 other players have their own strategies, and it's amazing to see that economic hardening engine start to work, right? It was already working, but now we have 20x more development. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look back into my Avalanche notes and look at inscriptions because I mean, geez, I mean, going over the Avalanche technology stack, it's brain melting. It is absolutely brain melting. Um, but we're gonna take a closer look at inscriptions. But thank you, Bob. Nothing. Inscriptions are 90% of Avalanche transactions right now, hence the gas problem. You can spam any chain with them, apparently. Yeah, I mean, look, it's when it comes to marketing and the hackers and scammers, yeah, it's bad in the regular internet. Well, welcome to crypto, right? People are going to use any technology and try to abuse it. Dax says, I think so, Brian, but where are we gonna get rubber fortune crystals that taste like bacon? Okay, Dax be talking about some other stuff, man. Except DFK chain because the whitelist. Yo, Bob is dropping nothing but alpha for us tonight, coming in and hitting us. Yo, he just throw me a few alley oops tonight, man. I gotta uh, I gotta appreciate you for that. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna look at Jewel, right? Because again, cryptocurrency ecosystem, Bitcoin. Uh, then you have AVAX. We spoke a few months ago about AVAX and the fact that people were saying when Jewel. Well, when AVAX market cap gets higher, okay, AVAX is top 10, has $1 billion market cap. When AVAX market cap goes up, similar to how when Bitcoin goes up and it goes down, you have that money trickle down. When AVAX goes up and then cools off, you have that money trickle down. And so AVAX has not started cooling off yet. Guess what? Jewel has not started its recovery yet. AVAX cools down and starts to show the early stages of getting out of its correction. Then we'll have Jewel movement. Right now, Jewel is still in a bearish trend within a bigger bullish trend, right? And so, how long is this bearish trend going to last? And what are we looking at throughout this trend? We're going to go ahead and put the importance on the visuals of what we are looking at here and go full screen. And we're going to do a full breakdown of Jewel. While we're doing that, what I'm putting up here is some of the sales, right? The planned sales that we made on Jewel. And we're going to have an overall conversation about economic hardening theory. I'm not going to sit there and break down the whole theory. As I am going through the charts, I will find slots to talk about the economic hardening theory and how that relates to the charts. When we're looking at Jewel, obviously we're currently in this correction. Let's start from a macro angle. Okay, if this is your first time here, that bearish divergence that we're talking about on Bitcoin currently, we saw a bullish divergence, a macro bullish divergence on Jewel within this bearish phase after creating a lower low here. Lower lows are never great. They're actually very bearish. But you also are looking at patterns within patterns. Let me see this bullish divergence. We have the impulse from the bullish divergence, which broke the neckline. Okay, this is the neckline of an inverse head and shoulders here at $33. Now, the neckline I thought could be here at 16, but clearly from the impulse, this is the neckline. So now when you have this neckline, what were we looking at? Well, I was looking for a price to come down. Again, we have not moved these metrics that we have on this price chart. What did I do? What did the trade room do? As the price of Jewel was going up, all right, we sold here at these levels. We sold at around 30. No, we sold at 29 cents. Okay, we sold at 44 cents and then we sold at 60 cents. We missed the top here, okay, by 15%. We went over that last week. We missed the top here. Oh, I'm sorry, by 25%. If you go to the upper wick, it is by 32%. So within my projection, we missed the top. Why is 75 cents the marquee area? Because as Jewel went through its bull market and through its bear market, 75 cents was a high area of resistance. Next level is 94. We are currently this projection down here, all right, that we made when Jewel was going up and why we were confident in our sales. This full correction is about a 54% correction. Again, after bullish impulses, you should not be surprised to see a 50% correction. It's pretty healthy. And it also brings us back to this general area of that 33-cent area ish, and also to that 29-cent area is to find support. It is healthy. Okay. And so I sold 1,000 Jewel at these areas because of these supports and resistances. Now, if we're getting this correction down as low as 29, I do kind of expect it to bounce at 33. That's why between 29 and 33 I sold, because I thought it could possibly turn into resistance and price could come down. But what was the lesson that we learned? When you follow macro patterns, these long drawn out macro patterns, you get much more bullish price action. So if 75 cents was that area, in the trade room, we should have held and held and held to that 75-cent area because it hung around there for a few days. And so we have some projections that we're going to make once we start seeing price action start moving. We have 94 cents, $1.30, $2.18, $2.98, $3.76, $5 as well. All right. And we'll start talking about that if the pattern that we are currently following starts to show some impulse. What is the pattern that we are currently following? Well, we are following this pattern here where we came off of an inverse head and shoulders. We got some impulse from there where prices went up 700, over 700%. What we're following here is this long, if it follows this pattern that I have drawn out here, all right, even if it looks like this, okay, we are following what looks like a magnanimous cup and handle. And we've been talking about that for a while. So this correction down is healthy for me on Jewel. You know, a 55% correction is what we were looking at. As Jewel has been correcting, I have repurchased Jewel at 40 cents, I believe. With that sale I made at 60, and then again at 29 cents with the sale that I made at 44, and then that sale that we made at 29, I may have to re-put it back in here, maybe at 33 cents, if not the full 55% correction from the top at 29 cents. But at 29 cents, oh, I'm buying like no other. Even at 25 cents, which is one of the worst case scenarios that we could be looking at, I'm buying as well. And so this is what we're looking at for Jewel. This is the price action. What does that mean for the rest of the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem? Well, would you look at the bloater? Would you look at the bloater? Okay. And so we haven't tracked the bloater, okay, the Serendale 2.0 OG bloater. But before we hop into that, we're going to look at the economic hardening theory. We're going to take a quick look into the chat room. And we're going to talk about within that economic hardening theory, that proper trickle down effect, which is literally what you're seeing in the bloater right now. Again, it's so much we can talk about when it comes to economic hardening theory, but we're going to stick to a few things as we look through this chart. If I come back on stage, you guys can see, okay, economic hardening theory and the bloater here, who is swallowing a Moksha Run, right? Moksha Run represents one of the things, aside from Jel, that has proven the bullishness of this ecosystem. Moksha Run that has proven that even through bear markets, certain assets within the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem will move at their own pace based upon supply and demand. So before we look at the bloater and how the bloater can possibly bring nonsensical action into the ecosystem, I want to share this with you. Okay, now, Sticks intern, Sticks intern put this quote out for me, and we're going to talk about it. Before we do, let's take a holla at the chat room. Okay, and let's see what we have here. We have some gibberish talkings in here. I got stables waiting for 35 cents on Jel. Man, you know, when you talk about an accumulation zone, between 35 and 29 is a nice accumulation zone. Worst case, 25 cents for Jel is quite the beautiful sight that we would want to see. Bloater! We're going to talk about the bloater in a little bit. Bloaters just feed pets, right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bloaters do not just feed pets. Bloaters are also a part of is bloaters a part of making crafting? I don't even know, but you know that there's some use case coming for bloater, and bloater is also now being marketed and showcased in other ecosystems. I don't want to butcher the name of the last ecosystem that's featuring the bloater, but you can also mint a free NFT from that ecosystem by connecting your wallet, and other incentives is if you are a part of the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem. So let's look at this quote from, let's see what else is in the chat. Bob Nothing trying to buy a couple greater stone sets right now before they get economically hardened. That's right. Listen, the more time, and it's, look, I'm not going to go through the entire economic hardening theory. Go back and watch my video. But the more time goes about where humans, okay, within the DeFi Kingdom ecosystem, players within the ecosystem continue to work through the value-based game mechanisms, the DeFi gets stronger, the security gets stronger, and a part of the economic hardening theory is related to cybersecurity, technology, and how Avalanche and its technology is, it's probably top 5 in crypto right now. I gotta say, I mean, aside from all the AI things promising all these amazing AI stuff, right now Avalanche has the technology to be a trillion-dollar ecosystem. Quite honestly, okay. Avalanche, AVAX has the technology and technology, the elasticity, the scalability, okay, to be a trillion-dollar ecosystem. And when you dig into the technology, yeah, of course, right? When it comes to scalability, these gas issues are going to have to be fixed. But just like how we're growing with the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem and we're communicating with them and they're putting patches in, that's what happens too in crypto. And that's a difference between crypto and a lot of other ecosystem is there's continued development, it's continued fixes, patches. You know, the devs are always deving, right? And the technology over time only gets better. And that's what we're looking at in the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem. Bloater is the biggest meme coin on DFK. No nonsense is the price action. Yeah, bloaters are doing pretty well right now in terms of just bloaters have always been a meme, right? Even Sticks intern is like the biggest champion, and I'm gonna need a bloater hat soon. So if you guys can give me a bloater hat for Christmas, you know, I don't want anything for Christmas other than a bloater hat. You know, like it's not easy to come out here and talk about economic hardening and, you know, be sexually harassed by Sergeant Filthy McNasty and kind of like it, right? So, guys, I want a bloater Okay, a bloater head for Christmas. If you guys can find a way to make that happen, I'm just selfishly requesting that right now, right? You also have honk, and when I last looked at honk, I said, hey, I wouldn't buy honk unless it got to 60 cents for me. It's pretty close to that level. So we may have to be looking at some honk there. Bloater Nation. That's right, Eric. Sticks. I'm sorry. Sergeant Filthy McNasty says, I came for the economic hardening, staying for the trade room. Shout out to Sarge. Bloater memes for life. Yes, I think Sticks interns social media presence is gonna blow up. Not only because he drops great content and he's expanding his content and he's so big brained that Sticks is gonna be amazing in this bull run. But the bloater has literally been a part of his whole metaverse persona, metaverse personality. So Sticks is the bloater. Just in case you guys don't know that, there's a couple people in the ecosystem who literally are the bloater. And guess what? We are all bloaters. Okay, literally, we are all bloaters. Okay, bask in the bloaterness. Okay, so yeah, we got Hong Kong in here. Shout out to Ryan. Thank Jewel for the discount. Of course, thank Jewel for the discount. Dev's gonna dev, man. Dev's gonna dev, and that happens in the ecosystem. Yeah, we have Bonk too, but Bonk is going wild. A lot of meme coins are starting to pop off. So guess what? Not only are we in GameFi, not only are we in DeFi, not only are we in NFTs, not only are we in gaming, but we are also in a space of the best technologies in crypto. And you always want to have utility in crypto. We're not talking monkey JPEGs. Okay. Yes, monkey JPEGs can go crazy if they're a part of an ecosystem that has real value, movement, something. Bloater. Okay. Bloater can be a meme coin because everything else is pretty fantastic in what we've been doing in the ecosystem. But guess what? Bloater has a use case. Monkey JPEGs don't. Okay. And so the quote that we have here is, now there's room for nonsensical behavior, and this bloater is going to engage in nonsensical behavior. Yes. We made it through the bear market. Okay. We're here. Okay. Wolf of Wall Street. We ain't going nowhere. Okay. And so now we can behave nonsensically because our economy is fantastic. Our economy is fantastic. I'll say it again. Our economy is fantastic. And so now we can behave in nonsensical ways. And yeah, sticks for prez, man. We gotta have sticks for prez. Well, I'll say sticks for attorney. There are a lot of people that we can volunteer in for president. And honestly, the Mythic Squad in general is in the runnings for presidency. A president doesn't just have to be one person, right? A lot of countries do just one person. A president can be a group or organization. Mythic Squad is in the running for president as well. So let's keep that in there. I think the jewelers, we've been doing our thing. Shout out to the jewelers. Shout out to Mega. Shout out to Dags. Shout out to Affinity. We doing our thing in the jewelers too. I know you guys see us, right? But this community is so awesome that we just love to hang out. And when the guild stuff starts, things are gonna get spicy. The competition, the ish talking, the camaraderie for sure. Love you guys. I'm ready to talk some shit, if you know what I mean, right? And so, bloater tattoo on the lower back. Eric, stop it. That's a decent idea. I got my bloaters pierced today. Whoa, what is happening in the chat today? What? I was bringing economic hardening theory. I didn't know this is where we were going. Okay, we have guests, guys. We may have new guests. Okay, please. All right. Listen, Sticks, you can do anything you put your mind to, bro. But as a DFK attorney, we certainly love to see that. Let's see what else we have in the chat. Shout out
Ratush. I hope I'm saying your name right. You can holler at me on Twitter if I'm not. You know, my name's pretty crazy too. But X finally has chat. Yes. All right, guys. So where were we? So we were talking about economic hardening theory. We're talking about the fact that the ecosystem is so healthy. We have room for nonsensical things. We're looking at the current meme coin that we have in the ecosystem, which the meme coin actually has use case and could have further use case moving forward. This bloater is also in other ecosystems that are launching in the bull market. And we have Sticks Intern as the president of the bloater nation, and we are all bloater citizens. And so this is why I'm so bullish on Jade, because where are you gonna get the bloater for free? You're gonna get it on Serendale 2.0. And guess what? I'm transitioning some of my heroes to Serendale 2.0 in Clayton. Um, and I'm buying the bloater just like everybody else. Okay. But I'm also setting myself up to be stacking the bloater moving forward with some heroes transition over to Serendale 2.0. So again, economic hardening theory. There's going to be incentives to move from one blockchain to the other. Right now, we have two blockchains that we're partaking in. Crystal Veil using the Avalanche subnet technology, Serendale 2.0 using the Clayton blockchain and its technology. Crystal Veil, which is hitting on the popular blockchain AVAX, and Clayton, which is hitting on the eastern part of the world. Strategic positions, strategic planning, strategic partnerships. Life is good. Now we have room for nonsensical behavior, and the bloater is part of that. So let's dig into the bloater chart and see what is going on in the bloater ecosystem. If I can find it, where are you, man? Oh, where is the bloater charts? Have I lost you? Have I lost you, dear? Okay. So I'm gonna share this Jewel one, and then we're gonna pull up DFK bloater. Ooh, what is going on here? DFK bloater. Okay, we have you here. All right, so let's dig into the bloater chart. And again, as usual, I want you guys to have all the space you can to see what is happening here. So I will remove myself off of the top of the screen, and we are going to dig into Zablota. Guys, if you haven't put a thumbs up yet, make sure to put a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We have Sir Worm saying you should slither, and I think you might be a decent attorney. Yes, that is correct. Bloater is the law. Yes, bloater is the law. We will leave this up right here. So as we are looking at the chart here, let me go ahead and go back to this bloater chart here. Okay, awesome. I removed myself, right? I think I confirmed that. Yes, I removed myself. So we are seeing the bloater, okay, from the lows. All right. We're seeing the bloater. And maybe I already highlighted. Did I highlight it yet? No. Okay. So from the lows, okay, what has the bloater done? From the lows here, all right, we have seen the bloater make a, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what is happening here? From the lows, the bloater went as high as a 5,700% run. Do you guys understand the magnitude of what the hell you're looking at? Okay, the bloater went on a 5,700% run. Let me be more clear. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. This is actually ridiculous. Okay, from the lows, I'm not lying here, and the lows that I'm referring to is back here. Okay, these are the lows that I'm referring to, but I won't even go back there. Let's look at the most recent, what's most recently happened since it started running. So this is the low. This is where the impulse started. And I'll even do right over here just so I can get a nice little indication of where this was. This is literally December the 2nd. from December the 2nd. From December the 2nd, okay? It's not even our lowest lows. From December the 2nd, the bloater has done a 3,174% run. Do you understand what that means? Okay. Now, how much have we corrected? Well, from that area, right, we've corrected about 30%. Now, remember, what can you usually expect, right? How low have we gone since that big 3,000% run? Well, we have gone as low as a 56% correction. And so normally your corrections are supposed to last a while, right? You can normally expect a 50% correction from an impulse, right? We've corrected that way and we've begun moving. Now, when you have meme coins, again, things that happen are nonsensical. So corrections aren't going to last as long. So where to from here? Well, it looks like this is a pretty strong move to finish the weekend for the bloater. Another 27% or another 41% to test its recent local highs. All right. That brings it just that much closer to a penny. All right. What are we looking at from there? Well, I think that this is the very top here, 0.007, and it's going to have a hard time getting through this 0.007 area because we're going to have a overall correction in the market, or because we are just expecting an overall correction in the market. But even if it does come up here and gets rejected, it could come all the way down as low as 0.003 to test that area. That can get real nasty for people who are just buying, not really understanding, right? That it could maintain and range in this area. It could even go down a full 60% if it finishes the weekend and bounces off of this area. However, that would be a healthy correction. And what would that create? Guys, just like when we were looking at the bullish divergence, okay? If you see the same pattern, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we've seen a cup and handle possibly forming on Jel, right? With some correction ahead of us. What can we be seeing from this price action? Well, we see another cup and handle forming here. A lot of traffic in this area, so we can even come further down to 0.002. But what we're looking at is and what could be healthy for the bloater, even though meme coins move in a ridiculous style, is an opportunity to have a healthy cup and handle either over here. Okay, if this correction comes over here, a healthy cup and handle here. But this thing is so bullish that it could pierce through here and create a cup and handle somewhere else, right? Because you have this very, very, very top here at about 2 cents. 3 cents for bloater, okay? But that's a big wick. We're not going to talk about that right now. Right now, we're projected for the cup and handle to be here, all right? So a small cup and handle we just showed, but a big cup and handle is this one right here. This is the correction area that we just spoke about. This is how low this correction can go for the bloater if the overall market is expecting a correction. That's 0.003, but that allows us to form a big ginormous cup and handle that this bloater can go escape velocity and complete this 174%. But if this cup and handle pans out, what are we going to track? We're going to track the upside of this cup and handle. Again, I'm not going to look too forward, but because we're getting bullish price action in the market, I'm going to look forward. If we create the small cup and handle, what could we possibly be looking at? If we create the small cup and handle, we could be looking at, and let me go ahead and adjust these Fibonacci's that I'm drawing here. If we create a small cup and handle from the Bloater, we are looking at an upside, okay, of about close to a penny, right at that penny mark. That's going to be a big psychological level. So I like that. I like that Fibonacci has told me that that could be an area. We're going to go ahead and pinch that area, right? And then we're going to remove the Fibonacci from here. Now, Where is that from where we currently are? From where we currently are, it is a 56% run. It's not that crazy, right? The small cup and handle will get us there. Not that crazy, right? Let me see. And then from our possible correction, so let's say bloater comes down to this area that we're speaking of, to the top there, that's a 213% run. This 1 cent area, the psychological area, that is if we get the small cup and handle. If we get the large cup and handle, which would put us here, okay, at that 7 area, it would drag us down to our lows. And let me go ahead and expand and get more accurate with our lows, okay. From our lows, if we get the bigger cup and handle, which is going to require a larger correction, okay, I'm sorry, it's going to require a larger correction. We're probably going to test the top of this wick area at 2.9 cents. It was a big wick out of nowhere. It did not even last that long. It lasted 1 day and immediately corrected. This could be more healthy price action. But from our very lows, right, if we get this bigger cup and handle from our very lows, that is a 20,000% run. And for a meme coin, very possible, very possible. But from our current areas, okay, if we go ahead and make a full Fibonacci retracement from our possible larger cup and handle from the current area that we're in, that could present a 438% run. Not that crazy. Not that crazy, right? Not that crazy. What would I want? I would want to be able to get the bloater for free. I'm buying some right now, but I don't want to buy the Bloater, okay? And then from our possible correction area, where does that leave us, right? Worst case scenario, possible correction area, that's a 1,000% run. So I think that upside is about 3 cents, 3.2 cents for the bloater. If you were accumulating the bloater for free for the last 2 years, that could be bank if you have 30 million bloaters. If you have 50 million bloaters, a 20,000% run from the lows could be very advantageous for you if you were getting it for free, right? And so long-term projection, that's what we're looking at with bloater 3.2 cents, for people to actually be starting to get a FOMO. By that time, we're going to start to have some large corrections that may shake people out. But again, if you're in this ecosystem, you have plenty of heroes, you are getting compensated, or your heroes are working and yielding this possible meme coin, you're big chilling because you're using this bloater to do a lot of different things within the game. And inflation is not a problem. One, when you're getting an asset for free. Two, when you're in a bull market and demand is coming in heavier than supply. So that's the bloater. That's what we're talking about with the bloater. We're going to hop into the chat room while we look at the bloater. It is 8:48 p.m. Eastern time, about 45 minutes until the jewelers come on. But guys, this is all part of economic hardening theory. This is literally stage 3. Okay, if you didn't realize it now. This is stage 3. Proper trickle down effects. So not just that it's a meme coin, but once you have Jewel make a correction, you wait till AVAX makes a correction. Wait till AVAX makes a correction, it goes through its phase, finds support, starts to trickle up. You're going to see the trickle down economics, proper trickle down effects come into things. And that leads us to what is the trade room's picks, right? What are my picks? What am I looking at? What have I been accumulating? And we'll take some chart requests from the chat before we close out. But yeah, I'm going to always implement the charts into whatever the theory is, whatever we're trying to get across. I could have gone into a lot of different things about what economics means and broke down trickle down economics, and we could have done all that. This is not a Monday session here. We're gonna place the charts into everything that we're doing. So yeah, we have the chat saying, is someone going to list Bloater on a sex? that that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. And look, oh my gosh, Bloaters really did boom. Yes, Bloaters did a 3,000% run, and nobody really is talking. Well, we're talking about it. We're gassing Bloaters, but do we see what Bloaters just did? If you're in this ecosystem, are you selling your items or are you holding your items? Maybe a fool if you're selling your items. This is not financial advice, right? Why Bloaters go boom? Based on Bloater piled. With only 38K market cap, that pump is literally nothing. Yeah. Imagine Bloaters gets to a $1 million market cap. What does Bloaters look like as at a $1 million market cap? We're going to explore that next time. We're going to explore what Bloater looks like at a $1 million market cap, guys. That's going to be the next thing that we experiment on. What do you guys think about that? All right. What happens when Bloater hits a $1 million market cap? First 2 cents, then a correction to 10 cents? Is that a that's a joke, right? Because if it corrects upwards to 10 cents. That's interesting. If we learned anything the last couple of weeks in crypto, is that people still love a meme coin. Yes, people still love a meme coin. And if they see Jewel continuing to have 100% days, they're gonna want a meme coin, some sort of meme coin position there. There are less than 10 million bloaters currently. Yeah, bloaters with a lower lower tokenomics. Bloater with better tokenomics than Jewel. Stop it. Bloater with better tokenomics than Jewel. Stop it. Only about 10 million bloaters to go around right now. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. It's yeah. So let's see about where we are next. So my picks, yeah. So let's talk about the trade rooms picks. There's a lot of things that we could be looking at. We'll be here all night if we're looking at these things. But you know, one of my picks for me is the yellow pet eggs. Okay. Well, first of all, if we're digging more into this theory on, and let me go ahead and share exit solo here. This is the crystal chart here. And again, we're macro people. Bitcoin, we watch Bitcoin to get a better understanding of what's happening in the overall ecosystem. We have to know what's happening in government, economics, the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Laws, litigations to understand if our inferences of what's happening is going where we expect it to go. Bitcoin determines the cryptocurrency ecosystem. We have AVAX determines the volume and the market cap that goes into Jewel. Jewel is the Bitcoin of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. We've looked at Jewel, its price action, cup and handle, 55% correction that we've been expecting, the programmatic sales that I did, buying back in. We looked at Bloater, the nonsensical behavior with a healthy ecosystem that's allowed to happen. And now we're talking about my picks. Again, we can look at a lot of things. But one of the things that you have to, if we're maintaining that theory, if Jewel is the Bitcoin of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, Crystal is the Ethereum of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. And because that's the trickle down effect, right? Crystal is the Ethereum. Crystal just started to turn deflationary because the epochs are over. Now all of Crystal is out there, right? The ecosystem's going to do whatever it wants to do with it, whether it's burn it for duels, burn it for boar hunts, burn it through summoning. And our DeFi ecosystem is set as in the way that, yeah, we're burning it. But if you're long-term in certain mechanisms within the game, you're getting some of that back at a small percentage by participating in stuff like gardens, jewelers, and other things as well. So Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful economy and a beautiful ecosystem. And there's a lot of things we can look at. Crystal is the Ethereum of the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem. What does that make Bloater? Bloater is freaking Shiba Inu, freaking Dogecoin. Bloater is our Dogecoin because I'm actually a fan of Dogecoin and what it means to the crypto ecosystem. But Bloater is our Dogecoin. And Jade is our XRP, right? Jade is our XRP. I have this XRP shirt on, right? So Jade is the power token of our other blockchain. It's going through its emission releases. Its emission releases will end at some point. And you know, will Jade see as big of a run as it can make within the ecosystem through the bull market? It may not make these astronomical prices, and we'll look at Jade in our next stream. We're not looking quite at Jade tonight. We'll look at Jade in our next stream. Just know when it comes to the trade rooms picks, I'm looking at Jade. I swapped over from Crystal Veil over to Serendale because we're expecting some of these incentives to have players move, whether it's gas, whether it's the bloater. Now you want to quest there. Now we're going to have gas start to more transactions there, which means more burn of Jade. But even if Jade doesn't do well, extremely well this bull market, if you're able to stack up your Jade, you can do more for free in Serendale. But also, too, you can accumulate a lot more Jade than Crystal. If we're following that mechanism of Bitcoin, Crystal, Jade, as in Jewel is the Bitcoin of the DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem, you have Bitcoin move first, the first mover. Then you have the mid movers, which are about 6 to 8 months behind Jewel, Bitcoin. That's Crystal. You're going to see Crystal do some amazing things. Then you have XRP, who's a late mover. That's 8 to 12 months behind, quote unquote, Jewel / Bitcoin. And so Jade has yet to make its most parabolic moves. You know, and it's the third in that tier of power tokens. And that's part of my picks, right? But we're going to take a quick look at Crystal and what we're expecting from Crystal. You know, I've been in an accumulation phase of Crystal. We had this breakout again, bullish divergence. You know, if we can get Crystal down to 2 cents, it's an accumulation zone, right? Even this, literally with Crystal, yeah, if you have a ton of Crystal, yeah, great. But if you don't, you're accumulating it. You know, from where we are, it could be another 25% correction. That's what we're looking at here. From our bottoms, Crystal did a 329% run. This is a healthy correction that we're looking at here. Again, how long has it been? It's been about 9 days. We've gone as low as 46%. If we do that 50%, I'm sorry, 31%. If we do close to that 50%, we're looking at a 1.6 cent Crystal. I'd be surprised if we did that, quite honestly. But guess what? The accumulation is between where it's at right now. This is not financial advice, and about 2 cents for the trade room. That 44% correction area and that 2 cent area is a very, very strong possible support end area. And if I extended this out here, you would see it here, right? This sluggish area at this 1.9 2 cent area could be a great support area for Crystal. But you have to be in some sort of accumulation phase and not try to time the exact bottom of Crystal. And when we're looking at what is our largest upside for Crystal, at least for this run, we are already in the midst of it. Crystal already did it, right? It already ran 329%. Once it forms this pattern here, guess what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We went from bullish divergence that we tracked for months to cup and handle. This is the funnest part. Patterns within patterns within patterns. So if we see this, what is the kind of impulse you get from a cup and handle? We could be looking at crystal. Okay, nothing is stopping crystal. I mean, yeah, you have a little bit of a pit stop here, in this zone. But guess what? After leaving that 2 cent area, crystal could range between 6 cents and 8 cents for a long time before it finds its way out, because that next area is 17 cents. And we won't talk about anything else from there. That's where you're going to get the most sluggish, action from. But all in all, Crystal's price action has not looked good at all. And so over at the 8 to 17 cent area is what we'd be looking at for Crystal to determine its bull market. Remember, Crystal is about 8 months behind the rest of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. I would say even a full year. And so what's going to determine a bull market? Well, from our current area, it would be a 211% move for Crystal. If we have this correction here from this low of this handle that could form of the cup and handle, it's a 319% move. And all in all, from the lows, if we get this price action here from the low of our bullish divergence that we saw there, it's a 893% move for Crystal. So that's what we're tracking on Crystal, which is represented as the Ethereum of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. We have Jade as the XRP. I'm a big fan of the yellow pet eggs. Okay, big fan of the yellow pet eggs. Big fan of what else is on my list here. That I would throw. Big fan of tiers because I personally need a lot of tiers to hatch a lot of yellow pet eggs. And so I'm also a miner individual. I love my miners because guess what? Economic hardening. When we go over to the new blockchain with the APRs in the bull market, you need to have an onslaught of miners who can unlock this locked token at whatever price it is with a lot of mining statistics. And so macro, we're thinking macro. Yeah, we can look at prices and movements, but the other play is that transition to the new blockchain within the bull market and to be able to pull as much liquidity as possible. All right. So those are my picks. I'm a big fan of gold as well. But guys, what would you like me to look at? Holla at me in the chat. Let me know what you'd like for me to look at. It's about 28 minutes before we get into the Jewelers podcast. So what would you guys like for me to look at? Right. Shout out to OX Shoo. Love that name. Shout out to Space Ghost. Was popping, bruv. Dax says, oh yeah, seeing cup and handle everywhere. Yes. I think soon, instead of this cup here, I'm gonna have to bring my tea mug, right? I drink tea in here sometimes too, but we're gonna have to bring some tea into this chat room because we're seeing cup and handles all over the place. You want a ton of miners when they release ores so you can mine it all real quickly and liquidate it. Beautiful from Dax, man. There's so many use cases coming. So many use cases coming for our NFTs. And guess what? I'm okay with the fact that, the miners haven't been able to level up as much because of not having pet abilities. Some of my miners cannot partake in duels. But let yellow peg egg hatching drop. You will see me in season 7, season 8, season 9 of DFK duels challenging a lot of people. I'm not challenging you guys now. Remember, we have 100 levels, hero levels to go. We have 15% of the game that's been developed. And yellow peg, yellow egg pet hatching is going to launch at some point, and the economic hardening theory is look what happened to green pet egg that went from 8 cents to as high as 44 cents. And we could even look at green peg egg hatching. But look, I'm not here to look at more items. I can start looking at items all day, every day. What do you guys want me to look at? The first thing I see, or first two things I see, I will chart. And then we're going to get to the close of this. VeChain, VRA. I'm a big fan of VeChain. I'm a big fan of VRA. You're going to get me started. You're going to get me started. VeChain, we could definitely look at VeChain right now. We have Dags in the building saying he's looking at, he's drinking some tea right now. DFK a tone, sir? What hold on. What is that? What is that? DFK DFK a tone. What is okay, hold on. Let's take a quick look at VeChain or VRA. We look at VeChain because VeChain is one of, at least to me, the healthiest ones. But VRA is also one of the early movers. Oh, atomic crystals. Okay. Yeah. We could definitely look at atomic crystals. This is how you know I haven't looked at that. I haven't looked at that in a long time. I haven't looked at atomic crystals in a long time. Let's go put over the Bitcoin chart that I have here so I can switch over to VeChain. All right. So VeChain is an OG in the ecosystem. Last bull market, VeChain and VeChain deals a lot with supply chain management. It's currently about 2.9 cents, so about 3 cents US dollar cents during the last bull market. From its lows, VeChain ran up 18,000%. I love VeChain. And it did this in like 400 and something days, right? It did it in over a year span. Lo and behold, the Fibonacci retracement that I've had drawn on this on VeChain, that I haven't looked at VeChain too extensively in about, I don't know, 3-4 months. And so what has happened in that time frame of that time? Well, we have our Fibonacci retracement. This is a beautiful inverse head and shoulders. And again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A lot of these patterns in crypto are starting to pan out. You know, from the very lows, this has been a 189-day, 123% run from VeChain. You know, again, from the lows, the first level, nothing is stopping VeChain. Absolutely nothing is stopping VeChain from completing a 459% run from 2.9 cents to 7.5 cents. And then, you know, in a full blown out bull market, VeChain can return from the lows, okay, back to its all-time high, all right, at around 28 cents, all right, 27 cents. 2,000% from the lows, but a full Fibonacci retracement is a 8,296% run. And that is quite amazing from VeChain. And the theory behind VeChain is it's so cheap, you can work over a 2-year period and stack up 100,000. You're telling me 2 years to stack up 100,000 VeChain in these corrective areas, right? Not only in the bear market, you know, before the 2020 bull run, where it was dirt cheap under a penny, but also too in the last bear market where it hung around this general area, okay, for years. You can accumulate 100,000 VeChain, and this is the 100,000 theory. You can accumulate 100,000 of any cheap asset, and every penny it moves is $1,000 made for you. Again, you can accumulate any asset if it's cheap enough. If you can accumulate 100,000 of it, every penny it moves is $1,000 made for you. Simple math. Simple math. So that's VeChain. Those are the projections on it. It looks pretty good. Let's take a look at atomic crystals, and I'm gonna type. I'm gonna type this. This ticker in DFKA. Let's start with that. DFKA and whew, TON. Guys, bear with me here. TON. Okay. And let's wrap it up with what? ECR. ECR. Welcome to 5th grade, guys. Oh, gosh. And I just lost my train of thought. ECR. Okay. Let me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? Don't play with me now. DFK atomic crystals. Wow. Does Dex Screener not have? Does Dex Screener not have the atomic crystal? Let's see. ATONE. Let's see if we can just type in atonement. ATONE. ATONE. Oh, whoa, would you look at that? Okay, so this thing compares it to crystal price. This chart compares it to crystal price, which is very interesting. Because what this can tell you is, and let me get my different indicators on it. So this is not comparing it to US dollar price. And I can do some further research to see if Dex Screener can upload the US dollar comparative value. Because somebody in the chat, can you put in the chat the current price of the atomic crystal in US dollar value? I'm gonna need your guys' assistance because I'm running low on time here before the next screen. But if you're trying to make a decision between crystal, or let's say, hey, should I buy some crystal or should I stack up some atomic crystals? This is showing you that is USD. This is, oh, shiznap. What? This is USD? I'm going to look further into this. So I guess, okay, so sorry. It's DFK atomic crystal / crystal veil, right? Using the crystal veil blockchain / USD. Oh, it's about to be a fun close to this stream. Okay, so I'm going to, this is about to get spicy because I haven't charted atomic crystals. I haven't charted atomic crystals in, oh my gosh. Maybe 12 months, maybe longer. I haven't looked at atomic crystals. Wow, this is embarrassing. Okay, so looking at atomic crystals, US dollar value, atomic crystals went as high as, let's see, in this past history, let's $46. Okay, $46 in February of 2023. Since then, obviously, we've had a correction, right? And it's kind of been consolidating. I would say this consolidation pattern looks a lot like the link. If you guys know Link in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, the Oracle blockchain, that's currently, I think, breaking into the top 15. But this is a consolidation, okay, since that correction. And this consolidation from the highs of the 40, what is this, $45. This consolidation has been a total, and let me just go ahead. From the top of this movement, it went as low as 88% correction. Looks like a lot of crypto. It had a higher low in price. Remember, higher low in price, and got to $8. This is December. This is just December of this year, December 9th. And then now has made up, okay, has made up some of that correction, sitting at $21. Now, from the lows, let's draw our movement from the lows, okay, of about $5. Atomic crystal now sits at a 330% run. At the high, the most recent high, it was a 572% run, and it's kind of sitting now at 338%. Okay. Now, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a MACD that's bullish. All right. MACD is a lagging indicator. So MACD takes some time. It lags behind everything else. But the most important thing that I see on this 3-day chart, which means every candle is 3 days, I see a break of the Bollinger Band. And guess what we were talking about early on? You have RSI. The market is buying up. The market is showing clear signs of positive traction, buying up the greater atomic crystal. And we were in the period where price was doing what? Price was going down generally. Okay. You did have this very, very much low that happened here. So we could even do this. But clearly we have bullish divergence where RSI price was market was buying up, but price actually was coming down, very similar to Jewel. Now, there is not really an inverse head and shoulders here like there was for Jewel, but what we do have is general consolidation. Okay, general consolidation. And what consolidation looks like is you have this period here where price is very stagnant over a long period of time, and you need to see a breakout. Now, when I go over to the weekly chart, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So after all this bearish period where we still have this bullish divergence here, we have the stochastic RSI, which shows momentum. We have the first green weekly candle, which shows a reversal. A reversal. I don't think you guys can you guys see me? You guys can't see me. You guys can't see me. You guys, this is crazy. I have not looked at atomic crystal for the longest time. We see a reversal. A reversal. MACD is a lagging indicator. Okay, MACD is a lagging indicator, and we're seeing a reversal of the DFK atomic crystal. My goodness, this is bullish. I mean, I can't even help myself right now. Let's go over to the daily chart. You see the daily chart. Look at this. Look at this continued market price action buying it. Yes, of course, it's bearish right now. Yes, of course, we've had a, let me draw that better. Let me draw that better. Put some respect on DFK atomic crystal. Yes, we've had a 35% correction of a possible 50% correction, right? Because remember, 50% correction is very natural, right? A possible 50% correction here at $16, right? And I'm going to go ahead and mark that $16 area, just right offhand, because again, I haven't charted this, a 16-cent area. And then what we want to do is you want to draw some Fibonacci retracements from high to low to talk about possible future price action, because I clearly see a correction happening. We could use this marker here because again, the rejection happened over here. We can get a little tighter, but I like the fact that the rejection happened here. So we're going to use these highs here, and then we're going to draw it down to these lows here, right? And this is how I get my price action predictions here. We're looking at, the very top of this action for atomic crystals here, being about $127. Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, a big resistance area here at the 1618. Okay, we have another big correction area here at the 1 total. Okay, and then the regular 618, okay, which is an area to determine bullish movement, right? There is, if this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, so if we get a little granular, let's go to the 4-hour. Right, if we get a little granular, this correction on atomic crystals may not be done. Okay, this correction, again, like we spoke about before, can fall a little further, about another 21%. But that comes to the 4-hour. It's coming to the 4-hour mid Bollinger. You can see on the 4-hour, there's still a lot of room for growth right here on the 4-hour RSI. I mean, like, there's still a lot of room for growth here on the 4-hour RSI, and we've been getting this tight winding from the RSI, right? This atomic crystals haven't even really had a breakout yet because you're getting this tight winding, We're looking for right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for impulse. And so atomic crystals is having a correction. When I look at the daily chart right here, this mid Bollinger sits at 1716, but also too that long-term area we looked at is 17 flat. So if I was somebody who was an accumulator of atomic crystals, this range right here is a great area to accumulate it, even at $20. Remember, we're expecting a correction from Bitcoin. Right? We're expecting a correction from Bitcoin. So, looking at the short term here, guess what's going to happen? If we had this long-term consolidation area, once you test this consolidation area, and again, if I draw a trend line, this trend line is kind of continuing to move up here, right? Once you test this long-term area and you try to break out of it, you can back test this area, which is what's happening right now. And you can either bounce off of 22 or you can try to find a much stronger area to bounce off, which is 17. And then you can play into this weekly chart that we see here, which is incredible. Let's do a percentage measure. Okay, let's do a percentage measure for us to have a bounce. Where do we see this area where it's a confirmation of a bullish market? Well, the MACD kind of says it, but from our lows, right? From our lows, and I'll draw the lows here. I won't draw that spike down. From our lows to $33 that gets us back to our all-time high area, right? Then what we want to do is we want to possibly even come back to 23, 21. 21 for me is bull market area, right? And again, you guys are seeing what I do when I chart. This is a first for the trade room, right? Bull market spot. And I feel like Mythic Squad asked about this, so I'm doing Mythic Squad. I'm doing it for you guys, right? I'm doing it for you guys. Bull market spot, all right? Kind of similar to AVAX, the bull market spot. Now, when I say bull market spot, when we're looking at this correction here, let me switch over. This is the kind of path that's just healthy, right? You go here, you come here. You can even come back and test this area depending on how Bitcoin does. But really, we're looking at coming back to test this area. You can do something like this. This is the bull market area where, we can have something like this happen. But, if we eventually want to exit out of here, and then we're ready for these other prices. If you can bounce off of here, that's the bull market spot for atomic crystals. And then when we look at, very, very top action of a Fibonacci retracement, for us to get to our all-time highs, it's a 287% move. The other all-time high right here, this top wick, is a 353% move. But to get to the very top of this projection that we have here, which is a full extension from the previous bull market, geez, what does this percentage look like? Let's see. Let me try to get more granular here. Let's try to get a more accurate spot here. Even from our current areas, this is a 483% run, but from our very lows, okay? Because remember, we always like to track from our very lows, right? From our very lows, all right, from the impulse that we're getting off of this here, and just bear with me, guys. Here we're gonna be closing out soon. From the very lows, all right, this percentage move here. If you are an accumulator of atomic crystal, from the very lows, this is a 1,301% move to $127. So that is my breakdown of atomic crystals. That is what you'd be looking at if you were an accumulator of the atomic crystals. I know that the atomic crystals, as Bob Nothing says here, are the only deflationary in the game items I think will be worth a ton with enough time, unless they mint more. Yeah, that's, from what I'm seeing, I mean, geez, atomic crystals 10 years from now, imagine where they sit, right? But Worm says, yes, you're right, Bob. Nothing, at least until equipment can degrade. Yeah. And we have Gula Jack in here saying, join. What's up, guys? Remember, man, if you're still here, thank you for being here. Make sure to put a thumbs up. Make sure to like and subscribe. We have the jewelers coming on right after us. So guys, I took a little bit more time to get into the atomic crystal. I mean, it looks bullish. It looks bullish, So I'm very happy and ecstatic to see certain things breaking out of their bear markets. Atomic crystal is not out of its bear market yet. AVAX is, Bitcoin is. Jewel is working its way to give us the confirmation. And it'd be good to see where other assets go. As economic hardening theory, we start to get an matriculation as market caps rise, as we go through corrections of other liquidity coming into other aspects of the game. So guys, love you guys. Thanks for showing up. A few more minutes till the jewelers come on. I'm going to send you guys off with an absolute bullish. Okay. You guys will see me on the Jewelers podcast with our conversation with Winston, but leave on a bullish note, come on a bullish note. Love you guys. I will catch you on the other side. Peace. Let's get a proper send off, man.
Hey. Whoa. Yeet. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Happy to see you guys in here. It's the trade room, y'all.